In the middle of our hectic everyday lives, it's easy to feel like you're being pulled under by waves of pressure and doubt. Yet there's a way to find steadiness in the middle of the chaos, a route to genuine inner calm that has lasted for thousands of years. Imagine this: no matter what gets thrown at you, work, stress, personal clashes, sudden curveballs, you're able to remain grounded, steady, and composed. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the core of this Stoic philosophy, a way of thinking that shows us how to take charge of our emotions and reactions, so we can live a richer, more meaningful life. Today, we're going to unpack 10 lasting Stoic ideas that can reshape how you move through life. Constant highs and lows. These aren't distant theoretical concepts. They're real usable tools you can put into practice each day to grow stronger and more resilient. Whether you're wrestling with a rocky relationship, feeling buried under obligations, or just searching for a stronger sense of meaning, the teachings of the Stoics give you real insight and practical methods to help you flourish. Keep watching as we work through these powerful Stoic lessons, from developing a clear sense of purpose to learning to command your emotions. Each idea builds on the last, leading you toward a life where outside events no longer control your peace of mind. By the time this video ends, you'll have the understanding and the tools to build a steady, confident state of mind, regardless of what comes your way. So let's start this journey and see how ancient Stoic wisdom can help you find lasting calm and real contentment. If you're enjoying this content, one small favor that costs nothing is hitting the subscribe button and sticking around for the whole video. Picture setting out on a huge ocean, with no destination in mind. You'd be tossed around helpless against every gust of wind and every wave. That's essentially what in life is like, when you lack a clear sense of purpose, unmoored and easily pushed around by outside forces. Epictetus stressed how vital it is to have a well-defined purpose. He said that hardship reveals who a person really is, and that overcoming greater struggles brings greater honor. This isn't just philosophical musing. It's meant to spur you into action. Having a solid purpose functions like an internal compass, steering you through life roughest waters. This sense of purpose doesn't just appear, it's forged through genuine reflection on what actually matters to you. It goes beyond career milestones or personal wins. It's about the values and principles you choose to build your life around. What do you stand for? What type of person are you working to become? Answering these questions is how you uncover your a true purpose. Once you've found it, it becomes your anchor, holding you steady through the becomes. Life will always bring challenges, that's unavoidable. But when your purpose is solid, those challenges become manageable. They shift from towering obstacles into stepping stones you can climb over. Think about it: when you're crystal clear on your goals and values, the problems around you start to feel smaller. Massive difficulties turn into small parts of the bigger journey toward what you're really working for. That inner resilience, built through Stoic thinking, becomes nearly unbreakable. A strong sense of purpose isn't something that happens by accident. It comes from deliberate, honest reflection on what truly matters to you. That kind of reflection takes time and real honesty with yourself. You have to look past surface-level wants and passing desires to find what actually drives you. It might mean rethinking the direction of your life, letting go of old patterns, or opening yourself to new ways of seeing things. It's an ongoing process of learning about yourself and staying true to who you really are. Once you've discovered your purpose and made it part of who you are, the next task is staying committed to and protecting and growing it. This takes persistence and steady dedication to your goals. It means showing up consistently, even when things get difficult. It means pushing through mistakes and setbacks, understanding they're simply part of the path. Remember, a strong purpose isn't only a finish line. It's a guiding force that helps you move through life with confidence and steadiness. Picture your purpose as a lighthouse in the dark. It doesn't just point the way, it also gives you a feeling of safety and grounding. When life storms threaten to knock you off track, your purpose keeps you afloat, stopping you from being swallowed by overwhelming emotions and hard circumstances. This is what makes Stoicism so powerful. It isn't merely a list of rules to follow. It's a deep understanding of the strength found in willpower and determination. Epictetus reminds us that real strength comes from staying true to your inner purpose. No matter what obstacles appear from this outlook, nothing feels impossible, and nothing can break your resolve. So take time to really think about your purpose. Put it into words. Hold on to it and let it steer you. This sense of purpose becomes your anchor, your guiding light, and your steady companion through life's hardest moments. When someone insults or hurts us, our first instinct is often pain, followed by a desire to strike back. But this is where Stoic thinking offers something valuable. Our feelings come from our thoughts and how we personally interpret events, which means we actually get to choose our response. Rather than letting an insult knock us off balance, we can treat it as a chance to build patience and self-understanding. Think of it this way. Every time you hold back an impulsive reaction, you're strengthening a kind of mental discipline. You're teaching your mind to stay calm and steady, no matter the circumstances. Self-control isn't something you're simply born with. It's a skill that takes daily effort to build. Start with small habits that help you take back control of your thinking. Set tiny, achievable goals for yourself each day, where every time you meet one, you boost your confidence and reinforce your capacity to manage your own mind. Stay focused on the present moment and work on understanding your emotions more clearly. Once you recognize that you get to choose how you respond, you become tougher against hardship and less rattled by negative feelings. Think about a craftsman who spends every day refining their skill. They don't get thrown off by excessive praise or harsh judgment. They simply stay focused on getting better, ignoring outside noise. This kind of focused dedication leads to genuine freedom and peace of mind. In a similar way, protecting your mind from outside noise lets you concentrate on your own progress. Protecting your mind also means drawing boundaries. Be wise. Careful about what you let into your headspace, just like you wouldn't a knot. Don't let toxic thoughts, harmful people, or damaging content clutter your mental space. Instead, surround yourself with things that build you up. Read material that broadens your understanding. Have conversations that push your thinking forward, and spend time around people who lift you up and cheer you on. Stoic philosophy isn't some outdated academic idea. It's a genuinely useful approach for modern living. By learning to manage our thinking and handle our emotions with maturity, we can find real peace and freedom. Even in an unpredictable world, this isn't about bottling up feelings. It's about understanding them fully and responding in ways that reflect our values and goals. One useful method is practicing mindfulness or meditation. These habits sharpen your awareness of your thoughts and feelings, creating a pause between what happens and how you react. In that pause is where your true power and freedom exist. Through regular mindfulness practice, you train yourself to notice things without instantly reacting, giving more command over your emotions. Another part of protecting your mind is building a mindset you have geared toward growth. Treat challenges as chances to improve instead of threats to your growth. When hardship comes, remind yourself that every difficulty is a chance to grow and stronger and wiser. This change in outlook can completely change how you experience tough times, and making you more resilient and less easily influenced by negativity. Keep in mind that protecting your mind is something you'll work on for your whole life. It means repeatedly choosing to focus on what's actually within your power, your thoughts, your reactions, and your outlook. It means refusing to spoke it, instead becoming an active participant in shaping your own life. More you practice this, the more it becomes second nature, and eventually you'll notice outside tough events have less and less influence over your inner calm. Epictetus taught that we can't dictate what others think or do, but we always have control over how we respond to them. This idea means that even when someone is harshly critical of us, we still get to decide how much power we give that criticism. In the modern world, this means accepting that everyone carries their own viewpoints and values, which won't always line up with ours. It's completely normal to run into different opinions and occasionally sharp words. What really counts is how we handle these moments. The first move in dealing with criticism is knowing yourself well. When you clearly understand your own motivations and the reasoning behind what you do, criticism from others stops carrying the same weight. If you know your actions align with your values, harsh words from other people matter less. This level of self-awareness builds a solid base that keeps you from being easily pushed around by other people's judgments. When criticism comes your way, instead of getting defensive, pause and reflect. Ask yourself whether there's any truth to it. Sometimes, even blunt feedback holds something useful that can help you improve. This doesn't mean you must accept every piece of criticism as accurate, but staying open to considering it shows maturity and a readiness to grow. Stoic thinking also highlights the value of patience and gentleness. Patience helps you stay composed instead of reacting rashly or harshly to criticism. Gentleness helps you keep good relationships, even with people who disagree with you or call you out. Think of people throughout history who faced mistreatment and insults with calm Patience and kindness, never abandoning the path they'd begun chosen by practicing patience and gentleness. You can handle criticism without letting it throw off your inner balance. Handling criticism well also means developing resilience. This doesn't mean becoming numb or dismissing all feedback, but rather building toughness. It means recognizing that criticism isn't always really about them. Sometimes people criticize others because of their own insecurities, frustration, or misunderstanding. Recognizing this lets you separate the criticism from your sense of self-worth. Remember, you always have the power to choose how you respond. This freedom sits at the heart of the Stoic thinking. Someone criticizing you doesn't mean you have to treat their opinion as the final say on your character or ability. You can take what's genuinely useful and let the rest go. This selective approach lets you grow without being weighed down by negativity. Keeping the conversation open is another good way to deal with criticism. If the criticism comes from someone close to you, like a friend or relative, think about talking it through with them. Ask them to clarify and share your own view calmly. This helps clear up any misunderstandings and can actually strengthen your bond through honest, open communication and mutual respect. Handling criticism well can also inspire the people around you. When others watch you respond to bestowed criticism with grace, composure, and openness to learning, they're likely to respect your strength and follow your lead. You end up being a model of resilience and emotional maturity. Living out Stoic values in daily life. Epictetus taught that it's not events themselves that frighten or upset us, but rather our thinking about them. This means that when someone insults you, it isn't their words or actions causing the hurt. It's your interpretation and reaction to them. In other words, the power to decide how much an insult affects you rests entirely with you. This idea is freeing because it moves control away from outside circumstances and puts it back in your own hands. Changing how you respond to insults isn't about pretending you don't feel anything. It's natural to feel hurt or angry when insulted. Stoic philosophy teaches us to recognize these emotions without letting them run the show. It's about carving out space between the trigger and your reaction. And in that space lies your ability to choose a response that fits your values and long-term goals. One useful approach for shifting your response to insults is reframing your thinking. When you feel offended, try viewing the situation from another angle instead of dwelling on the negative. Ask yourself what you might learn from it. This doesn't mean you have to agree with the person, but it lets you pull out any useful lessons and grow from the experience. For example, if a friend criticizes how you're living, instead of taking it personally, consider whether there's truth to what they're saying or whether it's a chance to reaffirm your own values. Stoic thinking also stresses empathy. When someone insults you, try imagining what they might be going through that led them to act that way. This perspective can help you respond with understanding instead of anger. It's not about making excuses for bad behavior, but recognizing that everyone now deals with their own struggles. Another strong technique is practicing forgiveness. Holding on to anger and resentment only hurts you. It's like swallowing poison and hoping it harms someone else. By choosing forgiveness, you release yourself from the weight of negative emotion. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened. It means letting go of its grip on you. It's something you give yourself, allowing you to move ahead with clarity and peace. Stoic philosophy also teaches that genuine strength comes from facing and working through difficulties, not avoiding them. Every insult you face is a chance to build resilience. Just as muscles grow stronger under resistance, your character grows stronger through confronting and reshaping these moments. The more you practice this, the more naturally it comes, until eventually, outside events barely will disturb your inner peace at all. Keep in mind that reshaping how you handle insults is an ongoing practice. It's not something you master instantly. It takes patience, self-awareness, and a real commitment to growth. Every time you choose to reframe an insult, you're reinforcing a healthier environment and making it easier to respond well. The next time Epictetus pointed to a deep truth, we refer the ones who give meaning to what happens to us, and in doing so, we create feelings like fear and shame within ourselves. This means these emotions aren't built into the events themselves, but come from how we interpret them. Once we grasp this, we can start changing how we experience fear and shame. Fear typically comes from uncertainty or worry about a bad outcome. It's a natural protective response, but it can become paralyzing if we don't address it. Stoic teaching encourages us to confront our fears directly, rather than avoiding what scares us. We should look closely at it. Ask yourself exactly what you're afraid of. Break it down into specific worries. Often the fear loses its grip once you examine it logically. For example, say, You're afraid of speaking in public. That fear might come from worrying about judgment or making a mistake. But breaking it down, you realize your audience isn't there to judge you harshly. They're there to listen and learn. And even if you stumble, it's not catastrophic. Every speaker slips up. Sometimes by facing this fear head-on and preparing well, you steadily build confidence. Each time you speak, you wear the fear down, and it becomes easier to manage. Shame is a heavy emotion that can leave you feeling flawed or unworthy. It often comes from social pressure or past errors. Stoic thinking teaches us to face shame with courage and self-kindness. It means accepting our flaws and learning from our experiences instead of letting them define us. Picture feeling ashamed over a past mistake. Instead of letting that shame build, face it head on. Think about why it happened. What lesson can you take from it? How can you use it to grow into a better version of yourself? This process of reflecting and learning turns shame into a useful lesson rather than a source of self-hatred. Another powerful tool for overcoming shame is forgiving yourself. Holding on to shame keeps you stuck in a loop of self-judgment. Forgiving yourself lifts that heavy weight and lets you move forward. This doesn't mean brushing off your mistakes, but acknowledging them, learning from them, and then releasing them. It's a necessary part of healing and personal growth. To work on overcoming fear and shame, start small. Gradually, put yourself in shades and trigger these feelings, and treat each experience as a chance to learn over time. You'll build resilience and discover that what once terrified or embarrassed you no longer has the same grip. This steady exposure and reflection help you become less sensitive to fear and shame, making them easier to handle. Stoic thinking also highlights the value of community and support. Share your fears and feelings of shame with people you trust, friends or mentors. Opening up about these emotions can be freeing and offer fresh perspective and encouragement. Often you'll discover others have faced similar struggles and can offer real insight and support. Epictetus suggested that by picturing possible difficulties ahead of time, we prepare ourselves to handle them with a calm, clear mind. This isn't about being negative or expecting disaster. It's about staying realistic and ready for whatever comes. When you anticipate obstacles, you'd go rails. Not blindsided when they show up. Instead, you'd calm. You've already thought through possible solutions and how you'll manage your reactions. One practical way to prepare for obstacles is a technique sometimes called the premeditation of toughness. This involves setting aside time to imagine potential problems and think through how you'd handle them. For instance, before an important meeting, you might consider what could go wrong: technical glitches, difficult questions, or your own nerves. By picturing these scenarios ahead of time, you can plan your responses and soften the shock of surprise. This practice isn't much about fixating on negativity. It's about strengthening your mental toughness. When you've already thought through how to handle difficulties, you're less likely to be knocked off balance when they actually happen. You become more adaptable and better able to keep your composure, which is a defining trait of Stoic thinking. Planning for obstacles also means staying flexible and open to change. Life rarely unfolds exactly as expected and rigid. Plans often lead to frustration and stress. By expecting that things might not go according to plan, you stay adaptable and can adjust as needed. This flexibility is essential for handling through life's uncertainties with grace and skill. Another key part of preparing for obstacles is keeping a balanced view. While it helps to think through possible difficulties, it's just as important to recognize your own strengths and resources. Acknowledge the skills, knowledge, and support you have that can help you get through challenges. This balanced mindset ensures you're ready without becoming overly worried or pessimistic. Anticipating obstacles also builds patience and persistence. When you accept that challenges are inevitable, you develop a long-term outlook that values steady effort over instant results. You become more patient with the process and more resilient when things don't go smoothly. This staying power is a core part of Stoic terror, which values steadiness and inner resolve. Regularly reflecting on your experiences can also improve your ability to prepare for obstacles. Take time to look back at past situations and notice patterns. What challenges came up and how did you handle them? What approaches worked and what could you do better? Learning from your past experiences helps you prepare more effectively for what's ahead and refine how you solve problems. Building mindfulness into your routine can further sharpen your ability to anticipate and manage obstacles. Mindfulness keeps you present and alert, letting you spot potential challenges early and respond with a clear head. It strengthens your emotional control, keeping you calm and centered, even under pressure. Epictetus famously said that it isn't what happens to us, but how we respond to it, that it truly matters. This simple but powerful statement captures the essence of inner strength. Our real power doesn't come from changing outside circumstances, but from mastering how we respond internally when we're up against hardship, whether it's blunt criticism from someone we trust or a sudden setback. We always have the freedom to choose our response. This choice shapes who we are and the direction our life takes. Inner strength grows through self-awareness and consistent. To change a practice, it begins with recognizing your emotions without letting them take over. That doesn't mean suppressing what you feel, but observing it and understanding where it comes from. Once you become aware of what triggers your emotions, you can manage your reactions more effectively. This self-awareness is the starting point for building real inner strength. Stoic philosophy, though, also stresses the importance of knowing the difference between what's within our control and what isn't. This distinction matters greatly for keeping inner peace. We can't control other people's actions or opinions, but we can control our own attitudes and reactions. By putting our energy toward what we can actually influence, we reduce needless stress and stay grounded. This mental shift is empowering and helps us stay steady when things around us get chaotic. Forgiveness is another key piece of inner strength. Holding on to grudges and bitterness drains your energy and clouds your thinking. Just as Stoicism teaches us to manage our reactions, it also teaches us to practice forgiveness. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but releasing its grip on you by forgiving. You free yourself from carrying negative emotion and make room for healing and growth. Building inner strength also means developing resilience. Life comes with constant ups and downs, and setbacks are unavoidable. The key is viewing these setbacks as chances to strengthen who you are. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to build resilience and full persistence. And over time, this practice strengthens your inner resolve, making you more adaptable and less thrown off by life's changes. Stoic thinking encourages us to draw strength, not just from within ourselves, but also from our community and beliefs. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and share similar values. Engage in conversations that stretch your thinking. If you have spiritual or personal beliefs, lean on them for support and direction. These outside sources of support reinforce your inner resolve and give you a sense of belonging and purpose. Practicing gratitude is another strong way to build inner strength. Gratitude shifts your attention from what's missing to what you already have, creating a more positive outlook. Even during hard times, there's always something worth appreciating. By consistently recognizing and valuing these positives, you strengthen your and keep a balanced perspective. Inner strength also involves being willing to be vulnerable. Acknowledging your fears and insecurities doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. By facing these vulnerabilities with courage and compassion, you turn them into sources of strength. This kind of self-acceptance is a key part of inner strength, letting you move through life with authenticity and confidence. This doesn't mean hiding your emotions or pretending they aren't there. It means acknowledging your feelings without letting them control your actions. It's about creating a pause between what happens and how you respond, a moment to think and choose the entwicklung. This habit of pausing and reflecting is powerful and can change how you interact with the world. Consider driving in bad traffic. Someone cuts you off, and your first reaction might be anger or even road rage. Instead of acting on that impulse, Stoic thinking encourages you to pause and think through your response. Will honking or yelling actually rethink things? Probably not. By staying calm, you keep control of your emotions and actions, leading to a more peaceful, less stressful experience. Another part of managing your reactions is the ability to delay gratification. In our fast-moving world, we're constantly tempted to chase instant rewards and avoid discomfort. But Stoic philosophy teaches us the value of patience and persistence. By delaying gratification and working toward long-term goals, we build discipline and resilience. This idea also applies to how we talk to others during heated moments or with disagreements. It's easy to let emotion take over and say things we later regret. Stoic thinking teaches us to hold back our words before speaking. Think about the impact of what you're about to say. Is it constructive? Does it reflect your values? Speaking thoughtfully and with intention helps you build stronger, more respectful relationships. Practicing self-control takes self-awareness and discipline. It means being conscious of your impulses and actively choosing to manage them. This might mean setting personal limits, practicing mindfulness, or forming new habits that support your goals. For example, if you tend to put things off, build a structured routine that keeps you focused and productive. If anger is an issue for you, practice calming techniques that help you stay composed under stress. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes acting from reason, rather than impulse. This means making choices based on careful thought about the situation and its consequences. Imagine facing a big decision at work instead of rushing into a choice. Take time to gather information, weigh the pros and cons, and think about how the decision fits with your priorities and goals. This thoughtful approach leads to better results and a stronger sense of control. Managing your reactions isn't about becoming passive or avoiding action altogether. It's about being deliberate and fervent and intentional with your choices. It means understanding that your actions carry consequences and taking ownership of them. By practicing self-control, you become more effective at reaching your goals and maintaining your inner peace. Regularly reflecting on your behavior can also calm the reactions. You strengthen your ability to manage your reactions. Take time each day to look back at how you behaved and think about where you could have shown more restraint. What set off your impulses? How could you respond differently next time? This ongoing self-check builds greater self-awareness and strengthens your commitment to acting with purpose. Another useful approach to managing reactions is building a daily mindfulness habit. Mindfulness keeps you present and alert, letting you catch impulsive urges and choose more thoughtful responses. Whether through meditation, deep breathing, or mindful observation, building mindfulness into your routine can significantly strengthen your self-discipline. Acceptance is the first step toward taking meaningful action. When we fight against reality, we waste energy and create unnecessary suffering. For instance, if you lose your job, it's natural to feel upset and anxious about what's next. But by accepting the situation, you can focus on your next move, updating your resume, networking, or looking into new opportunities. This proactive approach helps you handle the challenge more effectively and lightens the emotional weight of the experience. One useful way to build acceptance is through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you stay present and aware, letting you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Through regular mindfulness practice, you build the ability to accept each moment as it comes, flaws, uncertainty, and all this acceptance forms a foundation for inner peace and resilience. Stoic philosophy teaches that acceptance isn't about giving up, but about finding strength through hardship. It's about understanding that every situation, no matter how difficult, carries a chance for growth. And learning when you're facing difficulty, ask yourself what you can take from it, how it might make you stronger. This shift in perspective turns obstacles into stepping stones for personal growth. Acceptance also means letting go of the need for perfection. Many of us chase perfection, this in our careers, relationships, and personal goals. But this constant pursuit can lead to stress and dissatisfaction. By accepting that perfection isn't achievable, we can appreciate our effort and progress. This doesn't mean lowering your standards, but recognizing that flaws are simply part of being human. Treating our mistakes and setbacks with compassion allows us to live more fully. And honestly, gratitude is another powerful way to build acceptance. When we focus on what we have instead of what's missing, we shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. Gratitude helps us notice the good in our lives even during hard times. By practicing gratitude regularly, we reinforce a positive outlook and strengthen our ability to accept and appreciate life as it actually is. Acceptance also applies to our relationships. We often hold expectations about how others should act and end up frustrated and let down when they don't meet them. By accepting all people as they are, strengths, flaws, and all, we can build relationships that are more balanced and fulfilling. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior, but understanding that everyone is on their own path, facing their own struggles. Through empathy and compassion, we create room for real connection and shared growth. Epictetus and other Stoic thinkers emphasized that living in line with nature means understanding our place in the world and acting according to our rational and social nature. At its heart, this idea is about living genuinely and in balance with the world around us. Living in line with nature starts with self-awareness. It requires a real understanding of who you are and what your true nature is. This involves looking inward and reflecting on your values, strengths, and purpose. By understanding your natural tendencies and instincts, you can make choices that reflect your authentic self, rather than bending to outside expectations or pressure. This idea also means accepting the natural rhythms of life. Just as seasons shift, our lives move through different stages: growth, stability, decline, and renewal. By accepting these cycles, we can move through life's changes with more ease and grace. Living in line with nature involves developing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These virtues act as guiding principles that help us handle life's challenges and make sound ethical choices. Wisdom helps us see clearly and make informed decisions. Courage gives us the strength to face hardship and take action. Justice ensures we treat others fairly. And honorably, temperance helps us stay balanced and in control. By developing these virtues, we bring our actions in line with our rational nature. Stoic philosophy also teaches us to live in harmony with others. As social creatures, we're naturally connected to the people around us. And living in line with nature means recognizing our interdependence and contributing to the well-being of our community. This involves practicing empathy, compassion, and cooperation. When we support others and build positive relationships, we fulfill our social nature and help us create a more supportive, connected environment. Another part of living in line with nature is embracing simplicity and focusing on what truly matters. In a world full of distractions and material pursuits, it's easy to lose sight of what really counts. Stoic thinking encourages us to cut away the excess and focus on our core values and essential needs. This might mean simplifying your lifestyle, prioritizing meaningful relationships, and dedicating time to personal growth and our self-care. Doing this creates space for what genuinely brings you joy and fulfillment. Stoic philosophy also stresses the value of acceptance and gratitude in living according to nature. Accepting life's natural flow means letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting the process. It means being thankful for what you have and appreciating the present moment. Gratitude helps us recognize the abundance already present in our lives and builds a more positive. By focusing on the good, we build a sense of contentment and peace. Living in line with nature also asks us to be mindful of our impact on the environment. As part of the natural world, we carry a responsibility to care for the planet and protect its resources. This means making sustainable choices, reducing waste, and respecting the delicate balance of ecosystems. By living in an environmentally conscious way, we honor our connection to nature and support the well-being of future generations. Bringing mindfulness into our daily lives can strengthen our ability to live in line with nature. Mindfulness keeps us present and aware, letting us make intentional choices that reflect our true selves, whether through meditation, deep breathing, or mindful observation. These practices help us connect with our inner nature and the world around us, encouraging us to slow down, reflect, and act with purpose. As we wrap up this look at these Stoic principles, remember this: real power doesn't come from controlling the world around you, but from mastering your own mind and actions. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and let it guide you toward a life of inner peace, resilience, and fulfillment. Thank you for spending this time with Stoic Journal. If you found this video useful, be sure to check out another suggested video on your screen. Stay strong, stay grounded, and keep walking your path toward wisdom and well-being.